Printing, an invention so vital to human progress that it's hard to imagine life without it. But did you know the printing press, which we associate with Gutenberg, has much deeper roots in China? Let's take a journey through history to uncover the origins of this life-changing technology, its spread across the globe, and its lasting impact on how we consume knowledge today. Get ready to learn about a world-changing invention that originated in the Tang Dynasty over 1,000 years ago. Around the 8th century during the Tang Dynasty, Chinese inventors revolutionized communication. The early form of printing involved carving entire pages into blocks of wood, which could then be pressed onto paper to create copies. But what truly set the Tang Dynasty apart was a monumental shift in this technique. Instead of carving full pages, Chinese inventors began rearranging individual characters, a method that laid the foundation for the modern printing press. By the 700s, printing was born, and China became the epicenter of this innovation. The ability to produce books quickly, cheaply, and in greater numbers had an immediate and profound impact on society. Books were no longer luxuries reserved for the elite. They became accessible to many, setting the stage for an explosion of knowledge and the rapid spread of new ideas. Some of the oldest examples of this technology still survive today. In fact, the Library of Congress holds some of the earliest prints, including the Hyakumanto Dharani, a Buddhist sutra printed between 764 and 770 in Japan, near the dawn of the printing era. This text, commissioned by Empress Shotoku, was printed on woodblocks, and she ordered 1 million copies to be made. That's right, 1 million copies. This monumental task could never have been completed by hand, showcasing just how transformative printing was. In China, the spread of printing was closely tied to Buddhism. Devout Buddhists had long copied texts by hand as an act of merit, but the invention of printing allowed them to accumulate merit much faster. It wasn't just about religious texts. The imperial bureaucracy also recognized the power of printing. The Song Dynasty began printing Confucian classics, required reading for those who wanted to pass the rigorous exams for government positions. Printing became a tool not just for knowledge, but also for political and social power. Fast forward to the 11th century. The Song Dynasty saw another breakthrough with the invention of movable type printing by Bi Sheng. Between 1041 and 1048, Bai Sheng created earthenware type that could be rearranged for different texts. However, this innovation wasn't widely adopted within China due to its high costs and the complex nature of the Chinese language, which required tens of thousands of characters. Instead, woodblock printing continued to dominate. Despite its limited use in China, movable type would go on to transform the West. When Johann Gutenberg introduced a similar technology in Europe, the Latin alphabet required far fewer characters, around 100, compared to the 200,000 characters of Chinese. This made movable type a practical option for European printing, sparking a revolution in book production and literacy. The question remains, how did printing technology travel from China to Europe? Scholars speculate that Mongol armies played a significant role in this. By the 13th century, the Mongols had conquered much of Asia and, in the process, facilitated the spread of printing. The Uyghurs, who used a version of the Sogdian alphabet, may have been one of the first to adopt movable type printing. As the Mongols advanced westward, the technology could have reached Central Europe, where it eventually influenced European printing presses. By the 1380s, printed materials such as playing cards, religious texts, and block books began to appear in countries like Germany, Spain, and France. The transfer of printing technology via the Silk Road and through the Mongols led to the rapid spread of ideas in Europe, just as it had earlier in China. Let's not forget about Korea's role in the history of printing. In the 1200s, Korea became the first country to use metal movable type, a major advancement over earlier methods. By the mid-15th century, Korea had already printed significant texts, including one of the oldest surviving printed books using metal movable type, Jikji, which dates back to 1377. Southeast Asia, positioned between China and India, was also deeply influenced by Chinese printing techniques. Vietnam, for instance, used a modified Chinese script known as Chut Nom, and many important texts were printed in this script. The spread of printing to Southeast Asia came both through local adaptations and European colonization. By the 19th century, Western technologies began to overshadow traditional Chinese methods of printing. As the world became more interconnected through trade and imperialism, Western presses and printing methods took hold in China and Southeast Asia, marking the decline of traditional woodblock and early movable type printing. Fast forward to the present, and the invention of printing has shaped not just the spread of knowledge, but the very structure of modern society. The rise of print media played a key role in the spread of the Renaissance, the Reformation, and the Enlightenment. It also laid the foundation for modern education, publishing, and even the digital age we live in today. In today's world, printing continues to evolve, especially with the advent of 3D printing and digital presses, allowing for new forms of creativity and production. The future of printing may lie in how we combine traditional methods with new technologies to continue shaping human civilization. From the invention of woodblock printing in China to the spread of movable type in Europe and beyond, the history of printing is a testament to human ingenuity. This technology didn't just change how we share information, it revolutionized the world. And its impact is still felt today in every book, newspaper, and digital device that carries text. Printing is not just a history lesson, it's the foundation of the world we know today. The story of printing is far from over, and who knows where the next innovation will take us. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history's most impactful inventions. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments. How do you think printing will evolve in the future?